The entire internet froze the moment Tamar Braxton's tear-soaked live stream started. Her hands were shaking, her voice cracking, and the world could tell instantly. This wasn't one of her usual emotional moments. This was something darker, deeper, and far more dangerous. In this alternate universe bombshell, Tamar didn't just cry. She shattered the illusion of peace, exposing a twisted chain of events that no one saw coming. Because when she whispered Mendeecees' name, everything changed. She took a long breath, looked straight into the camera, and said, "You all have no idea what he did to me." The comments exploded instantly, millions watching, refreshing, screen recording, terrified of missing a single second. Then came the leaked clip. A shadowy studio hallway, Mendeecees' voice low and unfiltered in this fictional world, confessing to something explosive, why he got involved with Tamar, and why he ended it in the coldest way possible. The words were icy, the tone was ruthless, and when he said the line that would break the internet, "I didn't want her, she was a distraction," Tamar's fans went into instant meltdown. The hashtag started trending within minutes. The reaction videos flooded YouTube. The industry insiders began whispering about manipulation, betrayal, and power plays happening behind the scenes. And while the entire world argued, Tamar sobbed into her hands, completely unaware that a brand new leak was about to expose the truth behind everything. And this fictional scandal was about to explode even further. The storm started long before the internet ever caught a whiff of it. Insiders had been whispering for weeks that Tamar Braxton wasn't herself, that she'd been avoiding appearances, skipping rehearsals, disappearing backstage for long stretches of time. But nobody expected the truth to crash into the public the way it did, raw, unfiltered, and drenched in tears. And nobody expected Mendeecees, yes, that Mendeecees, to be the center of it all in this fictional whirlwind. It began with a late-night recording, a live stream Tamar never planned to start. She looked exhausted, almost hollow, as though holding in a secret too heavy to carry any longer. She kept opening her mouth to speak, stopping, then trying again. When the words finally came out, they arrived shakier than anyone could have imagined. "I trusted him," she whispered, staring at something off camera, as if replaying a scene she wished she could erase. And he knew exactly what he was doing. The comment section exploded instantly. Names flew. Questions poured in. Screens across the world lit up like electronic wildfire. Nobody expected her to say the next part, but she did, slowly, painfully, and with a bitterness that tasted like betrayal. "I never thought Mendeecees would do me like that." Viewers leaned closer. Phones were turned up to max volume. People stopped scrolling and froze. Tamar's voice dropped to a trembling whisper as she described the beginning, the moment she believed he genuinely cared in this fictional universe. According to her, he was charming, attentive, and strategic. Too strategic for someone who claimed he wasn't looking for anything serious. She said he made her feel chosen, wanted, protected, and that was exactly why the betrayal cut so deep. Meanwhile, behind the scenes, a different story was brewing. Unreleased footage, blurred, but unmistakably real in its fictional world, captured Mendeecees talking in a dimly lit studio. He didn't know he was being recorded. He didn't know the microphone was still hot. And he definitely didn't know the entire world would soon hear his unfiltered truth. But before the leak surfaced, Tamar kept unraveling on livestream. She said there were nights he would show up unannounced, saying he needed to talk, only to leave her confused and questioning everything minutes later. She said he made promises, long conversations about the future, whispered words that made her feel safe, except none of it ever materialized. Instead, the moment she let her guard down, everything changed. He became distant, cold, strategic in a way that felt calculating, not accidental. She paused the live stream then. For almost 20 seconds, she said nothing, just breathing, wiping her face, struggling to stay composed. Fans begged her to stop, to log off, to breathe. But Tamar shook her head slowly like someone tired of protecting everyone but herself. "I'm done covering up for people," she said, her voice cracking. "I'm done pretending it didn't hurt. What nobody knew was that at that exact moment, a second storm was forming online. Someone, still anonymous, uploaded a file titled Mendeecees Admits Everything, full audio. The clip began circulating in private group chats, then leaked onto gossip pages, and finally burst onto the timeline like a digital grenade. Within minutes, the audio had millions of views. In the recording, Mendeecees' tone was casual, almost dismissive, as he talked to an unnamed friend. "Man, it wasn't even supposed to be all that," he said in the fictional audio. "Tamar's cool, but I wasn't trying to get serious. She caught feelings, that's on her." The friend laughed nervously, clearly sensing the danger in the conversation. "But you were with her every day." "That was business," Mendeecees replied. "I needed the connection, the visibility. You think I was there because I wanted something real?" The reaction online was immediate, violent, unhinged. Tamar's fans declared war. Timeline detectives dissected every sentence. People posted split-screen comparisons of Tamar crying and Mendeecees laughing in the leaked audio. Entire channels went live to break down the meaning behind every tone, shift, every pause, every background sound in the recording. Back on the live stream, Tamar was unaware of the leak. She kept talking as the world around her erupted. She said she realized something was wrong when he started slipping away, making excuses, pulling back in ways only someone planning their exit would. She said she tried asking him what changed, but he always acted like she was overreacting, like she imagined the shift that was so painfully clear. Then she dropped the first fictional bombshell. "He told me he loved me," she said, voice trembling. And then he disappeared for 3 days straight. Her phone kept vibrating on screen. Notifications flooded in so fast that the sound turned into a continuous buzz. Her eyes flicked to the screen, confused. "Why is everybody blowing me up?" she murmured. "What's happening?" And then she saw it. The comments filled with one phrase, the audio. Tamar's entire expression changed. Her lips parted. Her body stiffened. She whispered, "What audio?" But the comments kept flooding in. Fans begged her not to listen. Others sent links repeatedly. Someone typed in all caps, "Turn it off, you're going to get hurt." But Tamar didn't turn it off. She clicked the link. Her face went blank. Her breath caught. Then her hand flew to her chest. The silence that followed felt like a physical weight pressing onto every viewer. Her eyes began filling with tears again, but these tears were different, sharper, deeper, full of disbelief. When the clip reached the part where Mendeecees said she was nothing but a distraction, Tamar dropped the phone. It hit the floor with a loud clatter, screen still glowing. People tried to calm her in the comments, begging her to log off. But she whispered something so quiet and broken that it sent chills across the world. "I wasn't worth anything to him." Before anyone could respond, she ended the live stream abruptly. But the story didn't end there, because right as Tamar's stream cut off, another leak dropped, this one a video. A shaky hallway clip of Mendeecees confronting someone off camera. His voice low, tense, and what he said in that moment would set the stage for the next chapter of this fictional storm. If she talks, everything falls apart. She wasn't supposed to catch feelings. She wasn't supposed to know. The world went silent, and then it erupted again, louder, angrier, more chaotic than before. Something bigger was hiding behind this story, and the next leak was coming. The moment Tamar disappeared from the live stream, the internet turned into an inferno. Every platform, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, even fan forums people forgot existed, was drowning in theories, leaked screenshots, emotional breakdowns, and wild speculation about what might have happened off camera. Viewers weren't just worried, they were terrified. And in the middle of that panic, a new rumor surged to the surface. Tamar wasn't alone the night she heard the leaked audio. Someone had been in the room with her. Nobody knew who it was, nobody knew what they said. But 30 minutes after her live stream ended, a new file popped up online. Anonymous, unverified. A blurry 6-second recording titled, "She Found Out." It captured Tamar sobbing loudly, then a man's voice saying, "You weren't supposed to hear that yet." The clip ended before anything else could be heard. Fans went feral. Some said the voice belonged to a family member. Others insisted it sounded like an assistant, but the most viral theory, the one gaining thousands of comments per minute, claimed it was Mendeecees himself. People swore they recognized his tone, his cadence, his breathing pattern. The theory was ridiculous, impossible, unprovable. And yet, the longer it spread, the more convinced the world became. Meanwhile, Tamar had vanished. She wasn't answering calls. Her team had gone silent. Her sisters weren't posting. Her close friends refused to speak. Even her usual online defenders were suddenly quiet. The silence felt dangerous, like the calm before a hurricane. And just when the internet reached peak panic, another leak detonated across the timeline, this time from someone calling themselves Inside Source M. The file was a 58-second voice note allegedly recorded by someone close to Tamar. Whether it was real or not didn't matter. It sounded real. Too real. She kept asking him why. The voice whispered urgently. She wanted to know if anything he said was true. He wouldn't answer. He kept telling her she knew how this business worked. Business, the one word that made Tamar unravel. People listened to the voice note like detectives hunting for clues. Every breath, every background sound, every pause. By the 20th listen, fans had already formed their theories, and none of them were pretty. It painted a picture of manipulation, of emotional games, of someone who knew exactly how to keep Tamar hanging on. And things escalated again when an influencer with 1 million followers posted an edited montage titled How He Played Her. Clips of Tamar smiling next to Mendeecees, clips of him looking away, screenshots of them texting, old footage from an event where he stood too far from her, then too close. It was a fictional story now being shaped into something monstrous by the public's imagination. But the real explosion happened when someone leaked the first half of the hallway video, the one that ended part 1. The extended version was 10 times more damning. In it, Mendeecees wasn't just talking to one person. There were 3 men standing with him, all of them looking nervous, all of them begging him to calm down. One of them whispered, "Tamar's gonna break. She's not built for this." The camera shook as if the person recording was trying not to be seen. Mendeecees ran his hand over his face, pacing in short, frustrated circles. "She was never supposed to get attached," he muttered. "This was supposed to stay clean." "What do you want to do?" someone asked. And then he said it. The line that froze the internet. "Let her cry. She'll stop eventually." Screenshots of that sentence flooded every corner of social media. Influencers made dramatic video essays. TikTok users cried about the emotional cruelty. People with zero connection to Tamar made 30-minute commentary videos about emotional manipulation dynamics in celebrity spaces. It wasn't just a scandal anymore. It was a movement. Hashtags formed. Support groups popped up. Artists made fan edits of Tamar reclaiming her power. Someone even started a petition demanding Mendeecees publicly apologize. Within 4 hours, the petition hit 100,000 signatures. But the universe wasn't finished detonating bombs, not even close, because while the world was busy tearing into Mendeecees, a new character entered the chaos. An anonymous whistleblower claiming to be one of Tamar's former stylists. They released a massive thread titled, "The Nights You Never Saw." According to them, Tamar had already been falling apart weeks before the live stream. They said she would show up to fittings with swollen eyes. They said she kept turning off her phone whenever Mendeecees called, then turning it back on minutes later as if she couldn't resist the pull. They claimed Tamar kept saying the same sentence over and over, "I don't know what I did wrong." The thread broke people's hearts. Fans began recording emotional reaction videos. Comment sections turned into support circles. It wasn't just gossip anymore. It felt like a collective heartbreak. Then the stylist dropped another sentence. She thought he was in love with her. The internet spiraled. Meanwhile, another clip leaked, an old private conversation between Mendeecees and a producer. He didn't know he was being recorded. Again, in this fictional narrative, he walked right into another trap. "She's fragile," the producer warned him in the recording. "You shouldn't play with her emotions." "She'll be fine," Mendeecees said. "She always bounces back." "For how long?" the producer pressed. "For as long as I need her to." The backlash was immediate, brutal, unstoppable. People demanded answers, demanded accountability, demanded a response from him, and instead he posted a single sentence on Instagram: "Stop believing everything you see online." That was it. No explanation, no sympathy, no effort to calm the storm, just a dismissive line that only made the flames burn hotter. And then his comment section erupted into war. Fans accused him of gaslighting. Others defended him. A few said the leaks were fake, but the loudest voices were Tamar's supporters, who flooded his page with one phrase: "For as long as I need her." Tamar, meanwhile, reappeared, but not online, not on live stream. She was seen leaving a private building with her hood up, wiping her face, carrying what looked like a small suitcase. Someone filmed it from across the street. She didn't smile, she didn't wave, she didn't even lift her head. She just walked toward a waiting car and disappeared inside. 10 minutes later, a new leak dropped. A text conversation, screenshotted, time-stamped, and allegedly between Mendeecees and one of his closest friends, revealed something darker than anyone imagined. In it, he talked about ending things cleanly, keeping her quiet, and making sure she doesn't ruin everything. The messages were vague, unsettling, and open to dangerous interpretation. Fans lost their minds. And right as the timeline reached the boiling point, a new recording surfaced. Someone captured Mendeecees having a heated phone argument. The audio was grainy but unmistakable. He yelled, "She wasn't supposed to know. She wasn't supposed to hear that. Who leaked it?" Then a woman's voice, shaky, furious, cut him off. "You did this to yourself." The internet froze. Nobody knew who the woman was. Nobody knew what the rest of the call contained, because the clip abruptly cut off, leaving one haunting sentence echoing across every screen. She wasn't supposed to know. And the world realized the biggest secret still hadn't been revealed. The room felt like it was shrinking around Tamar as Mendeecees' final words echoed in her mind. "You were never supposed to catch feelings." That line alone detonated across social media like a stick of dynamite tossed into a gasoline pit. But what the world didn't know, what Tamar had spent years burying, was a chain reaction that followed the moment he walked out of her life. And tonight, for the first time, those buried truths were clawing their way to the surface. Inside sources claimed Tamar spiraled in ways the public never saw. Behind every glamorous photo, every confident clapback online, every laugh on reality TV, she hid a heartbreak so deep it nearly rewired who she was. She allegedly kept Mendeecees' name saved under 3 different aliases in her phone, trying to delete him, then trying to forget him, then trying to convince herself she hated him. But every time she blocked him, she unblocked him. Every time she swore she was done, she found herself listening to one of his old voicemails, just to feel something familiar again. But Mendeecees wasn't done adding fuel to this emotional forest fire. A new leaked voicemail surfaced, one his team swore he never sent, where he told an unidentified friend, "Bro, Tamar was too intense. She made me feel trapped. I dipped before she ruined my life." That one line turned Twitter into a war zone. Tamar's fans erupted, demanding he explain himself. Meanwhile, his supporters argued he had every right to walk away. And then came the bombshell nobody expected. A former Love and Hip Hop staffer stepped forward claiming Tamar and Mendeecees had filmed a secret scene years ago, one that was instantly scrapped and never meant to see daylight. In that footage, Tamar allegedly confronted him about abandoning her emotionally, tearing up as she asked him why he pretended to care. Insiders who claim to have watched the raw footage say Mendeecees sat there cold as ice, barely blinking while Tamar's voice cracked and she whispered, "You used me." The staffer says the clip was cut because it made Mendeecees look calculating and cruel, and producers worried it would spark backlash they couldn't control at the time. But now, that unseen footage suddenly makes perfect sense. This was the version of Tamar the world was never meant to witness. Raw, wounded, and stripped of her armor. The version who begged someone who never deserved her love to treat her with honesty. The version who realized too late that she wasn't in a relationship. She was in a delusion built on mixed signals and temporary affection. And tonight, Tamar was done being silent. A close friend revealed she is preparing to release her own tell-all video. Not a response, not a clapback, but a full emotional breakdown of the truth. According to one insider, Tamar's video will expose how Mendeecees allegedly breadcrumbed her, kept her emotionally hooked, and disappeared the second his marriage demanded a PR reset. Another insider claims Tamar might even share screenshots, voice notes, and a diary entry dated the day he left her hanging. But here's where the story takes a devastating twist. Another source, someone extremely close to Tamar, says she had no idea Yandy found out years ago. Yandy reportedly confronted Mendeecees privately, furious that he risked their family's stability for what she allegedly called a reckless ego trip. Instead of apologizing, one insider claims he flipped it back on her, saying Tamar was the one who pushed too hard. Whether that's true or a convenience is still unclear, but fans have already taken sides. And right when the internet thought the emotional storm couldn't get any worse, Tamar posted a cryptic message on Instagram that sent shockwaves across the entertainment world. It read simply, "I trusted someone who wasn't safe." No name, no context, no explanation. But everyone knew exactly who she meant. Thousands of comments poured in within minutes. Celebrities, fans, even former castmates offering support. But the comment that lit the internet on fire came from Yandy herself. She wrote, "Sometimes people imagine relationships that never existed." That single comment unleashed chaos. Tamar's fans dragged her for days. Yandy's supporters doubled down, insisting Tamar was rewriting history. And Mendeecees, silent, not a word, not a post, not a hint of accountability, because silence protects the guilty. But then another crack in the facade appeared, this time from Mendeecees' own camp. A private message leaked from one of his close friends, claiming he did, in fact, have a deeper connection with Tamar than he ever admitted publicly. The message read, "He knew she was falling for him. He didn't stop it." That line broke the internet because it finally confirmed what Tamar spent years trying to deny. It wasn't all in her head. She wasn't delusional. She wasn't imagining a connection. She wasn't creating a fantasy. He let it happen. He let her fall. He let her believe. Then he walked away like none of it mattered. Now the pressure is building like a volcano ready to erupt. Fans are demanding all three of them, Tamar, Mendeecees, and Yandy, address the truth publicly. Some are calling for a reunion special. Others want a three-way interview. Some even want the unreleased footage to be dropped so the public can finally judge for themselves. But the real storm hasn't hit yet, because Tamar's team has confirmed that her tell-all is coming, and it is career-destroying for one person in particular. Nobody knows which one. Nobody knows what evidence she's about to unleash. Nobody knows how deep the betrayal actually ran. One thing is clear, when Tamar speaks, someone's world is about to collapse. And as the countdown begins, the industry is holding its breath. Because this story isn't ending, it's detonating. Before you click away, pause for just 1 second, because this story is about to explode even bigger. And if you don't stay locked in, you're going to miss the moment everything finally blows wide open. What Tamar is preparing to reveal, what Mendeecees is trying to hide, and what Yandy may be forced to admit publicly could reshape the entire love and hip-hop universe. And trust me, what's coming next will make everything you just heard feel like the calm before the storm. So if you're sitting there with your jaw on the floor, wondering how deep this rabbit hole goes, then you need to hit that like button right now. Not tomorrow, not later, now. Because every like pushes this investigation further. Every comment brings in new insiders who are watching quietly, and every subscription makes sure you never miss the next leak the second it drops. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Whose side are you on? Who do you think Tamar's tell-all will expose? And what receipts do you believe are still hidden? I want to hear every theory, every suspicion, every wild guess. Your comment might just be the clue that cracked the whole thing open. Make sure you subscribe and turn on all notifications, because the next update could drop at any moment. And when it does, it's going to be dangerous to be the last one to know. This story is far from over. In fact, it's only just beginning.